Hey guys, it's Kelsey, and I am the guest designer today for Scraptember, so I am super excited to be playing along with all of these ladies. Thank you so much for inviting me. Today I am working with my How to Kill a Kit with Style for this month, which is 1 Canoe Goldenrod. You see I've already picked out my 12 by 12, and I am finally using this cut file from Redefine Creative that I've been hoarding forever. This literally is the first cut file I've ever ordered from Christina, and I've been hoarding it because it's so pretty. And I think I was hoarding it for a Felicity Jane layout, but I hoard my Felicity Jane stuff too, so that doesn't really help because I have two pretty things that I'm not using and I need to get over it. So 1 Canoe is beautiful. I love everything 1 Canoe, so I figured why not get it on this page? It goes perfect. Let's just do it. So I'm starting out by grabbing both sheets of this kind of scenic paper from the 6x6 paper pad. I really love the colors in it, and I thought it was kind of cool to back the whole cut file in kind of a scenic type paper. So yes, I cut both sheets full of hearts, and you'll see me kind of back this cut file. I'm just making sure, of course, all the sky parted of the paper was at the top, and then all the grassy part was at the bottom. So I think that's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm sure I'm not the first one to have done it, but I'm really pleased with the result. So, and I was having a really difficult time with these scenic papers from 1 Canoe. They're always so beautiful and I love looking at them, but when it comes time to actually use them, I have the most difficult time. So I'm really glad I got both of those sheets used up in this kind of way. So I'm going to go ahead and get that glued down. I didn't have enough to fully fill in all of the hearts, but I have two photos I'm trying to get on this layout, so I'm just going to make sure the empty hearts will be behind the photos. There are a few hearts that peeked out a little bit from behind the photos, so I'm just making sure I cover that piece with a backing of pattern paper, because you can't really tell that the whole heart's not filled in once you have the photos over the top. So that's kind of right there what you see my design I'm rolling with. So I have my background down. Now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the photos. I just know I want both photos have little cute layery things. That's pretty much all I know right now. This is another one of my pages where I have a 12 by 12 background, but the rest of the page I'm using my 6x6 paper pad. And I love when I can do that because 6x6 paper pads are not really that much fun to work with sometimes. They can be really frustrating because you need bigger pieces than you actually have and whatnot. But yes, I figured out a way to do it and I'm really happy with the results. So I'm just trying to figure out where to start. I know that I want both of these photos to have the same, if not very similar layers, just so it's all balanced. So right away I'm going for this kind of yellowy paper. I'm going to map both photos in that, so automatically I'm starting off with both of the layers starting the same and then I kind of branch out from there. I was having a hard time with this yellow pattern forever, for a while. I don't know why. It's just like a simple, it almost looks like a knitted pattern if you were to paint that pattern. 1 Canoe always has really pretty painted looking pattern papers, and I love that look. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the type of yellow, I was having a hard time using that one, so I still had both sheets. So I was like, you know what, we're going to use it as a photo mat. It'll go perfect. That yellow goes really well with the green in the grassy part of that scenic portion, so it'll be fine. I'll get the paper used up. So I'm just cutting that now. Of course, it is a 6x6 paper pad, so I did need to trim down my 4x6 a little bit just so I could get the mat all the way around it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working with, and I'm still gutting everything because this is layout 4 with How to Kill a Kit with Style this month. I think this is only the third one you'll have seen so far. So yeah, I'm still trying to gut because I want to save whatever I can, especially even if it wasn't for How to Kill a Kit with Style. 1 Canoe I'm pretty bad at hoarding at too, which is why I made it a How to Kill a Kit with Style so I could get it all used up. But you'll see me gutting as we go so I can save whatever's hidden for a future layout as well. So I like how that mat looks. Now I'm looking for the next layer. I know I want it to be a contrasting color. I think I'm kind of looking at the blues. I really like the starry sky. I didn't really want to bring in the strawberries, but then I also had a few scraps of this navy floral and it had some green leaves and some white flowers on it, and I thought that went really well. I only had a few little strips of it, but since I have my main photo mat already, I figured it would be okay just to do a few little layery bits tucked around the corners, and I wouldn't really need enough for a full mat, so that's kind of what I'm doing. You'll see me kind of jimmy rig and cut different chunks to kind of add to the layeriness. So I've got that one tucked around the corner of the 4x6, and then I will just tuck one of those other strips on the left side of the 4x4. So you'll kind of see as I start layering, I'm trying to really layer up the paper layers around the outer corner of the page, so it kind of is pulling you towards the center. I don't know if that makes sense or not. For whatever reason, if I feel like I put these layers on the inside, it would be pushing the photo out rather than, I don't know. I think that's just in my head, but that's kind of my frame of mind as I'm putting these layers on the photo. So again, I'm also looking at some more tucky things. So I have this yellow stripe. I thought I might pull into both of these pictures. I really liked the idea of having a horizontal strip of it somewhere on both of them, but the proportions were looking really weird to me for some reason. I was thinking about maybe cutting a banner in that and having that at the top, but it was not looking cute to me. So I set that aside, and I'm going to go ahead and get doilies on first. Whenever I get stuck doing my paper layers, I default to a doily. Whenever I know I want something layery, doilies are just so pretty, and they add such a nice texture. They add such a good layery bit to kind of break up all the paper layers, even though I know a doily is paper as well. But yeah, I kind of was stuck on my next paper piece, so I figured I would just go ahead and get the doily on there. So I'm going to pretty much put that doily around the inner corners of both of those photos. That way it's still kind of mirrored, and now I'm going back to the yellow. I decided to put the little yellow branding strip that I was trying to put down on the 4x4. I actually decided just to tuck it up along the side of the 4x6, and I like that a lot better. You only see a little snippet of it coming out of the side, but I think that looks so cute. And then I moved the larger chunk down to the 4x4 photo and cut a banner in it like I thought I was going to do on the top photo. And for whatever reason, I guess maybe it's on the bottom of the page, so that larger banner looks better, grounding the photo on towards the bottom of the page. I don't know, but it looks better to me, so that makes it down there. And now I'm just looking for my next layer. So I do go through some ephemera. I got a little stuck here figuring out what paper layer I wanted next, so I figured I would just see where I was going to go embellishment wise to see if I could kind of figure out my page from there. I'm pulling out anything that I think goes, anything with similar patterns, colors, if it's on theme. Even if it's not on theme, you see I'm pulling in some fruit. I don't think any of the fruit makes it on the page. This is in Maui when we did the rainforest tour on the road to Hana. So this was super awesome. This was the first waterfall we ended up coming to, which was a double waterfall, and it was so pretty. I could have just sat there all day, but we were in the rainforest for about 4 hours, so and we saw 4 different waterfalls. I'm counting this double as one waterfall because it was one location. But yeah, this is the first one we came to, and it was so pretty. We got to walk up to, you could go swimming in the pool in front of it. There were a few people cliff jumping off of the top of it. And then we climbed up some rocks on the side, and we kind of got a top view as well, which is that top photo that you see. So the first one is me on the bottom looking at the falls, and then the second photo up at the top is where we climbed up to the top, and I took a picture downwards. So I thought that was really cool. You kind of got it from both angles. So yeah, now I'm kind of trying to figure out embellishment. I had this really cute mason jar, but it had strawberries in it. I'm not pulling strawberries into this page, but I really liked the look of the mason jar. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make a cluster where I can cover up the strawberries but still keep the same mason jar look. I really wanted to pull the bumblebees in. I thought that would be super appropriate since we're outside. And there's a few bumblebees in this collection that I don't think I've used yet. So I went ahead and pulled the die cut down to the mason jar. I was hoping the bumblebee could cover up most of those strawberries, but you could still see a few of them peeking around the sides. So I did just take a scalloped circle punch and I punched one of the pink patterns that I had a scrap of and tucked it behind the bumblebee. That also added another layer. It kind of mimicked the doily look, but then it also covered up the strawberries, so I was really pleased about that. I did end up putting that bumblebee up on some foam as well. So I popped my whole cut file up on some foam. I think I did that in the beginning. I don't know if you saw that or not. But there are a few gaps that I didn't have foam because there weren't papers behind that photo. So you saw me just popping some foam dots behind the photo as well, so it would all lay flat. So I got that stuck down. I love that little bumblebee cluster. It is adorable. But now that I pulled in that second pink geometric pattern down by the bumblebee, I wanted to make sure I included it on the top photo as well. So I did end up taking another scrap of that, cutting a smaller but similar banner to the one on the bottom, and for some reason that looks okay to me. That yellow one earlier just looked like too much, but that one looks fine. And then there's a lot of little sentiment pieces from the cut aparts, so I wanted to make sure to get one of those on there as well. And there's this one that says, "What a lovely day." It also has a blue starry sky with a green field, so that gets tucked there as well. Again, I'm putting some more foam dots here where there wasn't any paper so that my photo will lay flat. And then I'll get that glued down. I went through some foam dots on this page, you guys, let me tell you. But it looks so nice. Just the dimension and the shadow you get from popping things up on foam. Oh, I just love it. I love it. So there we go. So we're moving along. Now I just want to move into some smaller embellishments. I wanted to get some more pink and green on the page. For whatever reason, I was drawn to the popsicles. We're not eating popsicles. We didn't have any popsicles this day, but we're outside. It's Hawaii. It's hot. It's warm. It definitely wasn't unpleasant. Hawaii has really nice weather even when it's hot. It's not like silly humid like it is in Georgia. At least not the times we've been to Hawaii. Maybe it does get that way. But my brother lives there, and I feel like he has good days every day, so lucky him. I wanted to make sure I pulled in my thicker title as well. I was thinking I was going to go with something gold, but I saw this exhale in this really soft pink, and I thought it looked so beautiful, and we're at these waterfalls, and I just thought that was a perfect kind of sentiment and title. So I ended up going with that instead, popped it right over the photo. I like how it brings the pink from the background into the photo and the embellishments. So it looks a little bit difficult to read from this overhead view down onto that photo, but in person you can read it really, really easily. So maybe hopefully in the close-ups at the end you'll be able to really see how that actually looks in person. And then of course there's those adorable chipboard hearts that are on the thicker sheet as well that I have to pull into every single page. So I did just do a yellow and a pink heart in both photos as well, and I really like doing that because it pulls the texture and the colors of the thickers as embellishment into the other rest of the page, so it just all goes. I mean, it's all the same collection, so it goes anyways, but I really like having the same textile, this chipboard, in multiple spots as well. So I was looking at it, I thought I was almost done. I just wanted a little something more layery wise. So I pulled in some glassine bags. I haven't used these in a minute, but same with the doilies. They add a really nice freshness, a different texture, and they go with everything. So I'm just going to tuck them in. I have glued down these photos at this point, so I did just have to jimmy rig away to tuck this glassine bag in without having to pull everything up. So you see me struggling there for a minute, but I really like what that adds to the page. It's just so light and airy. It's just pretty. It's just pretty. You can't go wrong with glassine bags and doilies. I don't put any tags on this page, actually, I've just noticed, but I think that's because I went with the glassine bag instead, so you kind of get that same vibe. And now I'm going through my new hashtag sticker book from One Canoe 2. I'm obsessed with this sticker book, you guys. It is my favorite of all time. I just wanted a little something to pull in here. I thought I was pretty good with the icons. I have these bumblebees on here, I have the popsicles, I have the hearts, but there was just a little something more I wanted to pull in. I'm trying really hard to use the sticker book on almost all, if not every page I'm doing this month. So I came to this page that has all of these sentiments, all these word stickers in every color, and they coordinate perfectly. Of course, it has Goldenrod and Saturday Afternoon in this sticker book. So I pulled in this pink sentiment that says the best is yet to be, and this navy sentiment that says I will never forget this, and I put one with each photo. I thought that was super pretty, super appropriate. I'm not doing any journaling on this page. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. There's also going to be a lot more pages from this rainforest tour where I'll probably talk about all the waterfalls, so I didn't really feel like I needed to on this particular page. I just love when the photos can kind of speak for themselves. So it's a waterfall. It's a pretty waterfall. That's all you need to know. I'm going through to see what else I can find. I don't think I find anything else. Oh, yes, no, yeah. So I also pulled in that little yellow label. I split it in half and tucked that behind both photos, and I think that's it. I think that's everything I do. I'm really happy with how the layers turned out. I love this cut file. I love how it ended up looking. So thank you guys so much for inviting me to play along with Scraptember. I think my Scraptember tag video goes up today as well, so check that out as well as everyone else's if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.